That's DB. I'm Ravi Lula here on the Pillar Exterior stage. Before we get to Bet on It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook, we've got a special guest, I think a friend of DB's, joining us on the show. Brandon, what's going on?
Damon, what's going on, my man?
B. Will, how we doing, man? What do I owe the honor?
Man.
What'd you hear? You heard so you either heard NFL talk or Michigan. Which is it?
Hey, Michigan, we just celebrated last year's championship. this year, we just kind of right now we're just getting ready for the next upcoming season. We just happy to be still celebrating last year.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something real quick before we get to the NFL, because I think that's what you want to talk about. But
you guys bringing in a quarterback next year? Or no?
Yeah. What was the sentiment with you alum with Coach Moore and how it's going?
So the one thing that we have Jaden Daniels or Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard about him for the last couple of years. Last year we went to the national championship. Like me and my sons went to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So after the game, we were hanging out with, in the area, the hotel and stuff. And Denard Robinson was high on Jalen Davis. So going into the season, I knew he wasn't going to be ready just because I could see him. I was looking at him, and he didn't, size-wise, he didn't look big. So I knew he needed some time. Going into the season, we were all under the impression it was going to be tough. That was the impression that we all had going into the season. Alex Orji actually used to play 7-on-7 for me down here in Texas. So Alex and, his throwing issues that everybody makes a big deal of, that's been forever.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that was no surprise. So to me, I had to, in my mind, we go in there and we use, I hate to use this guy as an example, but we use the Urban Meyer offense, what he did with Tim Tebow and JT Barrett. A lot of elaborate handoffs, a lot of let the quarterback run. We got some good running backs. And I mean, that's now 37 yards passing the game. Damn, you got to try to do. I don't even know how you do that. Like, I don't even know. Not even being that guy, but I would get 37 yards a game passing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to try. That's a bunch of 3-yard passes with no yak. And so we kind of expected it to be. Now, nobody. When Harbaugh left, or there weren't many good quarterbacks available in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Once JJ declared, I mean, you should have kind of known, seen the writing on the wall. You got that type of team. JJ's doing well. He's going to go to the league. So we all kind of thought we could have got somebody.
Mm.
But I think the biggest issue is the play calling with who we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we had the kid that went the first time.
Orji.
Davis Warren.
Warren.
Yeah. So with him, nothing. First of all, I don't like bad-mouthing kids because they're kids and they're trying. But Warren, I mean, he's coming off of, they made a big deal about it. He had like a type of cancer.
Leukemia. He missed 1.5 years of high school.
Man, so to watch him play and the way they called the game, they made it seem like it was a favor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when Orji came in, we had Davis Warren. He's airing it out like he's, Tom Brady. And then when Orji comes in and he's 37 yards, a game and this and that. So my thing with that, if we got Davis Warren airing it out, throwing interceptions, at least let this dude throw interceptions. At least let him try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's not just sit here and let everybody load the box with 10 in the box and, beat our head against the wall. So me and my son went up to the Texas game, and what I will say, the biggest surprise for Michigan with me this year is the defense. The defense not being able to stop the run, not being sturdy. The big selling point with the new Winkleman, or the new D coordinator, is same Baltimore Raven tree. And but it's the same tree, different branch. So stuff's different. Like we had two coaches from the same Raven tree.
Mm-hmm.
One was a blitzer, one was a zone guy, or one was a man guy, one was a zone guy. And what we have now is more of a blitzer, and he's kind of like the Don Brown era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we kind of blitz.
Feast or famine.
So, yeah, exactly. And, it's going to, I can't say Indiana anymore. It's going to ball out against Purdue. But, you start playing those real teams that can pick up blitzes and the quarterback got a little savvy to him, it's not going to work.
Mm.
So, going into the season, I can honestly say most of us had us slated for just the players. I don't know about the fans. Fans are losing their mind right now. But players, we had us losing 4 games. Most of us had a 8-4, 7-5 prediction.
Yeah.
Oregon's going to be tough. Texas was obvious. We figured we would lose that. Ohio State's going to be tough. At this point, Sparty's not a given. And then I didn't plan on losing to Washington or some of those other games, but I will say going into the season, I was very public for what we won last year, I'll take this. Yeah. I don't give a dang what's going on.
All right, so it's our bet on it segment, but we had to get to the phone call. What are you betting on when we talk about Patrick Mahomes?
You can't say Pat Mahomes is losing anything. Pat Mahomes is playing with a bunch of high school people right now.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hey man, if the Chiefs lose Pat Mahomes, they're trash. They have lost everything but Pat Mahomes. I didn't know they're the only undefeated team in the league.
Yeah.
And that's
it's amazing.
Brady had Welker, man. And I mean, Kelsey right now is a house husband, so Kelsey's not doing anything.
Wow.
Listen, she's the breadwinner. He's got to be.
That's tough.
Hey, Brady at least did his job well when he wasn't the breadwinner. Brady at least still came out and won MVPs.
Yeah, and she left him.
Not even the best.
What is wrong with you two?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Deuces, you're not home enough. Take care of the kids."
Hey, he's best. Hey, he's best player ever. Somebody got to sacrifice. Somebody got to take that L.
It was his marriage.
The fact that Mahomes, like last year with the, he had the receivers they brought in, the one from the Giants. I can't think of his name. That was jumping off sides, costing them games and things like that.
Tony.
Like,
yeah, Kadarius Tony.
Yeah, Kadarius Tony. Yeah. So that season, I felt like last year was like the Chiefs title, maybe the divisional round and lose. But the fact that he won with that, with the circus around him, my man is dating Taylor Swift, but that brings a circus, man. Like now, Mahomes' family can't even watch the game without being part of the circus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a circus. So to be able to maneuver all that and still throwing behind the back passes, I don't even know half the people he's throwing the ball to. And I'm telling you, I did not expect them to be undefeated. My son told me yesterday, like, yeah, the Chiefs are the last undefeated team.
Yeah.
Like, undefeated in what?
Hey, real quick. If you're Tua, do you come back?
Man, that's tough. So I heard Chris Canty say something that makes a lot of sense. And I at first, I was, you got to sit down. I'm telling my son plays. So I'm telling her, you got to think about this, think about that. But Damon, I'm gonna be honest. When we were playing, man, you'd have to pull me out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, I think I would play.
Yeah, like I understand him. I understand what he's saying. Now, Chris Canty said this. Chris Canty agreed with us, but he said once I got my big check, once I got that big payday, I may feel different about it. So Tua has, I think, a guaranteed 100 or 200 million coming. That would be the only thing that will make me think different. But, how being retired,
yeah,
I had to check myself because at first, I was saying, I'm following the masses. Yeah, you gotta sit down, man. That's 5 concussions. And I mean, man, you think about it, Damon, we probably got a concussion every day at practice.
That's why I talk the way I do, B. Will. I'm just teasing. I appreciate you, Brandon.
Appreciate the call. That's
no doubt.
Sort of Bet on It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook. Make sure you go to Warhorse Sportsbook in Omaha or in Lincoln and get registered. You can win $10,000 this last weekend here in October as well. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little more college football. We've got Robert Rosenthal from IlliniBoard.com here on Hurrdat Sports Radio.